Hello and welcome back to another video. So today it's part 2 of the Ravenwood country house, which is located on Teardrop Cottage, in I don't remember what neighborhood. But yeah, so this is the second part, and in the second part we're going to be furnishing the bathroom, or the lower half of the house, which has the 2 bedrooms, the kitchen and dining, and the bathroom. And like I think I said last video that this house, the Sims that I had in mind when I was making this house were like an elderly couple, and then like an elder sibling as well. So just like a house for older Sims. But there was also going to be like a guest bedroom for when extended family of the Sims who live here come and visit, from like the different parts of the the world. And so yeah, this is basically I start in the kind of like I guess back entrance, because there's a back entrance, a side entrance, and a front entrance, and I'm starting in the back entrance because that's where the stairs to the first floor is located. And all the walls inside of this lower half are base game, and the floor is base game as well. And yeah, so I tried to make things, I tried to include a lot more base game items in this part, just because I don't know, I just felt like making, I said I was gonna restrict myself to base game, but I tried to kind of include more base game in this part. And yeah, so more of base game and life and death, and a little bit of I believe get together. I remember the pack name now, get together. I included more of get together just because I think it goes with the vibe of life and death. I think it like that Tudor style, kind of classic type furniture goes well with life and death. But yeah, so this is me just doing the hallway and the back entrance, and so I just put in like a bunch of base game items, like this hutch. I think it's called a hutch, like a hutch to display your china. And then I think I put like over here I put like a base game painting. Over by the back door, a get together, a chair from get together, and a shoe rack, or no, not a shoe rack, a coat rack from base game, and then just like some kind of like uh what they'd be I was gonna say merchandise boxes, but they're more of like produce. Yeah, I think they're like produce. It's like a produce clutter. And over here I'm working on, this is like the side entrance where I imagine this is like where you'd enter to not get like the rest of the house dirty, is what I imagined. And then this is where you just store like extra stuff. So like kind of like a pantry slash like side entrance. And I struggled a lot with this part because I couldn't really see the shelf here, and I was trying to put something in this little like nook, but I wasn't able to see, so you just see me like really struggle for a bit. And yeah, I'm like struggling. But anyways, I hope this is giving up on Friday. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. If you celebrated Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully it was a great Thanksgiving. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you had a good Thursday. And then I hope you have a good Friday too. And this is, yeah, so this is me just putting in a base game carpet. And then I put in, I think I put in a chair from Cottage Living, which is, this is a really cute swatch. I really like the white seat with the red polka dots. And then in here, I go in and put in like the curtains, and I think I end up just using base game curtains, because I was gonna put in the curtains that I put upstairs, which are from the bistro pack, or the bistro kit, but I ended up just going base game. And then in here, I I didn't want to use, because we're going on into the kitchen, for the kitchen, I didn't want to use the life and death kitchen, just because I wanted for it to be a bit more like country, or a bit more like, you know, like a country kitchen, a bit of a more rustic type kitchen. But I figured why not? It's like the first life and death build that I'm doing, so I decided to just go for the kitchen. And ended up going like full life and death kitchen, like stove, refrigerator, sink, everything. And I decided to go in for this like dark swatch, because the rest of the build includes like, you know, dark furniture, so I decided to go for that. And then I'm going with this space game wall tile, because I was thinking of using like the I forget what it's called, the growing together. Oh, my voice. Going with the growing together. Excuse me, sorry. With the growing together wall tile, I decided to go for the base game one. Just because everything else was base game, like the other walls were base game, and the floor tile was base game, so I decided to just go base game. Okay, I think we're good. Excuse me, sorry. And then this is me just pulling out like clutter from like various packs. I think I pulled out like a tea maker from, I forgot what it's called. Oh, it's a for rent pack. And then I pull out a bunch of like base game clutter, like, you know, the wine, the cookie holder, the cookie display, cookie jar, utensils, wine, and then over here I think I get like the bread holder. I don't know exactly what it's called. I'm gonna call it a bread holder from Parenthood, and then I think this like, I don't even think I end up using it, but this like I think it's called like a Dutch oven from I believe this is Cottage Living, so I use a lot of Cottage Living as well, which I think I did say that the last part I did mention. I use a lot of Cottage Living for the outside, a lot of get together, and a lot of Cottage Living, and a lot of the Horse Rancher for the outside, like a lot of debug items, and also Cottage Living because of like the kind of like the livestock aspect. There's like chickens and stuff outside, but inside I tried to, well, for the lower part I tried to stay pretty base game. The upstairs also is pretty base game. I think it's like a mix of base game, Horse Rancher, get together, life and death, and yeah, that's pretty. And maybe Cottage Living, and maybe like a couple clutter items are from I forgot what the pack is called, but it's like the seance one. A couple of clutter items are from there, but they're not like vital to the build. They're not like big pieces of furniture. But yeah, I think that's the completed kitchen. Going on into, I guess, the dining area somewhat. I kind of put like this like rack of pans, and then I think I just put in like a little table with a couple clutter items on there. Yeah, I end up just doing that. I don't exactly remember what I put on, and I don't fill it up too much. Just like a couple like kitchen clutter items. Oh, I think I put in like a tea, like a, I think like a tea set maybe. I think I put in like a base game tea set. And then, so like, yeah, cookie display, tea set. I think this is where I put in the pot. Yeah, the pot that I didn't use in the kitchen, I ended up putting it here. And then I put in like a tea set. Wait, I've said that like 3 times. Tea set, tea set, tea set. But yeah, so I ended up doing all that, and I didn't really clutter up the kitchen too much because I didn't want it to be like too cluttered, just because only 3 people live here. And also, I wanted it to look like it's been renovated. like the house has been renovated, because I imagine the house is like super old. And I imagine it's been added onto over like over the, not decades, but like over the many generations. Like it started off as like a little place where there was like a kitchen and like a little seating area, and then like a bedroom, all in one little room. And it's slowly been expanded upon, and they've been like renovating it so it doesn't like completely fall apart. And that's why it's not completely like a very like old, like super old looking build. Like I think they upkeep it, even though I imagine, because it's like based off like a Romanian like traditional house, that it's a very old house, like maybe like 200-ish years old, I imagine. In my mind it's like 200 years old, but it's been like kept up with, which is also kind of why I justified using the Life and Death kitchen, because I was like, well, if they've renovated, then they got a new kitchen. Like that's what I imagine. They've like renovated the bathroom and the kitchen and stuff like that. But yeah, this is me putting in the dining area. And there's only like one dining area. So it's not like too fancy, but it's also not like a breakfast nook type situation. It's just a plain old dining table. And it's a base game dining table, and then this is like chairs from Life and Death. And then the fruit bowl is from, I think it's from the Cozy Kitchen. It's either from the Cozy Kitchen, or if it's not the Cozy Kitchen, then it's from the new artist kit. But I think it's from Cozy Kitchen. And then this is a base game like end table. I think it has to be like unlocked, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this is like a base game end table, and then a mirror from Life and Death, and then, you know, base game clock, bistro, curtain. And I decided to go for this curtain because I think it's like very cute. It reminds me of like a, like, you know, a curtain that you'd see at your grandma's house, you know, lace, very cute. And so, ooh, that sized up really big. And so over here I decided to just like fill it up with knickknacks. And I decided to go for a lot of like animal type knickknacks, because I imagine this couple, you know, they raise animals, they raise chickens, and they raise like different types of like animals and stuff like that, like goats and stuff. And so I imagine they really like animals, and so I did the animal knickknack. And I was gonna put this, I was gonna put this boat upstairs, like this like ship, like, what's it called, like statue type thing upstairs, but I couldn't get it to like fit at the correct level. And I don't have the tool mod, so I couldn't, well, I currently don't have the tool mod, so I couldn't do that. But I ended up putting it in, I ended up just like saying like, oh, like let me just like raise it up manually, like with the 9 key, and it ended up fitting perfectly. So we finally were able to use it. And then this is just me putting a plate in the corner. And then over here I think I just put in, I was gonna put in, I'm really sad because I was gonna put in like a radiator, I think, over here. But it was like vampires, and I wasn't really sure if I used anything from the vampire pack, so I didn't want to just put in like one singular item from the vampire pack. So I ended up just putting in like that base game very large like flower painting, and I thought it looked nice. And then over here, this is a shelf that came with Life and Death, and it's very cute because it has like a quilt add-on thing. And so I just put like some clutter up here from base game, and then I think that's just like Life and Death rows. And then up here I ended up putting a bunch of other knickknacks, a lot of them which are base game. Like I ended up putting these like I guess they kind of are matching. They kind of look like a set. Like there's like a chicken, a rabbit, and a pig, like porcelain doll things. And then ended up putting up like this, I think it's like a Dia de los Muertos type statue, I think, or like doll. And then I ended up putting like an airplane, a little airplane figurine, and then another chicken, and then I ended up putting like a family photo type thing. And then up here I put in this scent, it's like a scent thing. At first I thought it was like an urn, like a really small urn, but I think it's like a scent thing from Life and Death. And then over here I put in like this barrel, which I imagine is like old mead or ale or something. And so there's like a barrel of, well, I imagine it's probably like empty, but like they used to make ale or mead there. So I put that in, and then I put in this Life and Death kind of like, looks like file organizers, but like very fancy file organizers. And then obviously up top, I just took all that down that was on top. It was just to like fill in the slots. And then going on into the rooms, we're almost done. Going on into the rooms, this is like a guest bedroom, or imagine like their children or their grandchildren can come stay during the summer. And I just use these base game beds because I didn't really feel like any other beds kind of fit like the very classical, like traditional classic furniture vibe. Or like, because I think this is like, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's like a queen, maybe not Queen Anne, but like a Victorian Queen Anne, you know, that type of furniture style. And it kind of goes on through the house. So I wanted to use these base game ones because I thought they fit well, which is also why I used this base game dresser in a dark green color, because I never really used this dark green color and I thought it looked really nice. And then I used this base game lamp and then some base game clutter over here on the side under the base game mirror. And then I just put in this plant from Life and Death, and then over here I'm just like I think start putting in like the lights that I wanted, because these ones are just like placeholders. So I ended up putting in the base game lights. They're kind of like, I think the mission style lights are the ones I ended up using for the downstairs, and then for the dining room I just keep that get together light there. And then over here I just put in a armchair, and I end up putting just a base game pillow. On the other side I'm going to put I believe I put in a mirror and then a plant, and I'm not sure if I put in any, oh, right now I don't put in any. I noticed as I was taking screenshots that I didn't put any paintings up in this room, and they appear in the screenshots because I went back in like after the screenshots, and I was like, oh my god, like the walls are so bare in this room. So I go back in, and that's why in the screenshots you'll see some like paintings, or well, some portraits. And to finish off that room I just put in like a Life and Death carpet in there, which I really like. It's very like cute, kind of flowery with the birds carpet. But going on into the last room, this is the room that I made specifically having like the sibling in mind. I say sibling, but I have like sister of the husband in the elder couple. So the couple that lives upstairs is the couple that owns the house, and the person who lives in this bedroom is like the sister of the husband, and she moved in because well, I really haven't thought that far ahead, but I'm assuming like maybe her husband passed away, so she came and moved in with her brother to not feel like alone. Or maybe, you know, maybe she never married, but she's like getting up there in age, and you know, for safety reasons she's moved back home with her brother, because I imagine this is like a family home that they grew up with, and the brother ended up like inheriting it or something like that. But this is like a home where she'll always be welcome, so they've made this little room for her since she's moved back in. And I ended up just using this base game dresser again, and also paired it with the base game, I think it's called like armoire, and then, you know, I just put in like a bunch of base game clutter, and then Life and Death mirror. I use this mirror like maybe like 3 or like at least 3 times in this build, but it's just a really pretty mirror. I really like it. And then I put some books, some perfume, some nail polish, some plants over here in the corner. And then over here I was gonna add that love struck painting, because I wanted to imagine that she used to live in Ciudad Enamorada, but since I wasn't really sure if I used anything from Lovestruck, and I was thinking, you know, the same thing that happened with vampires. Like, I don't want to just add in like one item from a pack. But maybe I did use something from there, I don't know. But I ended up not using that, and I just ended up putting like a violin painting, like the base game violin painting. And then over here, I ended up putting in a chair, and then this little like bird, like gold, kind of like wall decoration. And then I ended up also putting in a violin because I imagine violin painting, violin, she probably likes playing the violin. And then over here I just put in like a portrait of like an ancestor or something, and then just some clutter on the floor like books, and then candles. And I'm putting just like candles and this base game kind of like lotion basket and candles and tissue over there, and then I ended up putting a carpet from base game. And so yeah, we're pretty much basically done with most of the build. This is just me I think rearranging some stuff over here, but then I'm gonna go into the bathroom. There's a cut because I actually ended up having to redo the bathroom because it actually like stopped recording, and so I had to come in and do the bathroom. But yeah, this is the end of the build, and I hope you enjoy it, and goodbye.